now to get your helmets on because it's going to get rough in here. All the way from Studio B, it's showtime for John, Ken, and Mark, the Detroit Sports Authority.
Yeah. Now, it's time for Detroit Sports Authorities. Hi, everybody. John Sarver here at CKiW iRADIO 76. Having a wonderful time as we're getting all these shuffles already at the station, ready to go. Talking about ready to go, it's time we call up the Super CPA. Ken Pocket himself, the other one of the mainstays here at the Detroit Sports Authorities. I'm telling you, if you've had waiting for the blizzard. Hey, Kenny.
Hey, John. How are you doing?
Welcome to the place. I haven't even done the pre-roll yet, only because I've been putting away the rock salt for tomorrow.
Aha, yes. I hope you have plenty.
Yeah, well, no worries, because I just went out, and there is not a box of macaroni and cheese left on any Meyer shelf. It's gone.
Oh, my God. And the toilet paper, too, no doubt.
No, I don't care. I go outside.
Oh, okay.
I'm one with nature.
We need to get through the intro because we have an amazing show tonight.
Yeah, here, first of all, let's do this. We are the Detroit Sports Authorities. We are not experts. That makes us one better. We do have the highest standards here. We're not bought and paid for by anybody. All the opinions expressed in today's shows are just ours, so don't bother us. We don't have the FCC here, but we do follow the DMCA, and sometimes the language is going to get a little salty, so prepare. All right. Look how fast we can do that nowadays.
Oh, we're getting good.
You like that? And so here's one of the bigger pictures is, it's today, you know what? We've been talking about this with Paulie all week. And we said, you know what we're going to do? Because we're starting to sound like a broken record. We're starting to sound like a bunch of old grumpy guys yelling at the moon, because we say the same things over and over again. So we said today's show, without a doubt, it's going to be nothing but positives. It's going to be things where we're going to find the best that we can in the four major sports in Detroit, and we're just going to go from there. And so now I do believe, Mr. Pocket, that this will be our quickest show ever because we can't follow that. If you take a look at what that silliness was yesterday at 150 to 130 and you lose. What?
I looked at the score and I said, "Oh wow, that's pretty good." They only gave up 49 points in the first half. And then I looked again and I said, "What's that Q?" Uh-oh.
Yeah. What's that Q1?
Oh my God.
I mean, we have talked about this, Kenny, for so long now. There is this team it's got to be averaging over 100 points a game. You should be up in the top 6 if you keep doing over 100 points every single night. But goddamn, how do you give up 150 points and you're not like in an all-star game?
Well, what it is you've stopped pretending to play defense. You've stopped pretending to care.
Yeah.
You stopped pretending to play for your coach. You just stopped.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And it isn't even that they're tanking. Because...
Oh, that's their ability.
In the NBA draft, the first four slots all have the same chance of getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And they've already locked up one of the bottom 4 slots. So it doesn't matter what they do from here on out. They could lose. I mean, they could win the next 5 games, and it wouldn't matter.
I mean, can you in the NBA? Can you? There's one sport you can't. I think it's baseball that you can trade your pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you can trade your pick. You can trade your pick in NBA. You can trade it in the NHL. I mean, yeah, it's baseball. You can't, but you can actually get around that by a gentleman's agreement to trade it, and you call it a future consideration.
Oh, Lord.
I remember when the Tigers got Jeremy Bonderman, it was one of those deals where they couldn't actually get him yet, so it was a future consideration. And then when the time lapsed, then they were able to actually name him as the guy that they got.
All right. Well, the whole thing is that it's like, look, you're not playing for Casey anymore. That's pretty damn apparent. Okay, yeah. So you can't play for Casey, but then again, man, if you heard the post game last night, well, our guys are hurt. Well, we're just coming back from Paris. Well. No.
Well, the sun got in their eyes.
What's that?
I said the sun got in their eyes.
Yeah, sand in their mitts, and they don't even play with mitts. I mean, all right, so you are playing against, arguably a top-level team, very top-level team, with a perennial all-star on that team. I get it. But you scored 130. Now, this goes back to Milwaukee. You guys let up 130? How the hell did you let up 130? You defensively, you're better than that.
Yeah, but they were playing their scrubs.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, well, scrubs after the first period, because the first period they could have walked away. But it's amazing. Look at Detroit's got that firepower or something. Your score, I would love to see what the average score is for a Detroit Piston game. It's got to be triple digits now. Has to be. I don't know.
Triple digit point differential?
No, how many points do they average a night?
How many do they score? 112.4.
Yeah, all right. So if you're doing consistently, quote unquote, I mean, obviously, but triple digits every single night, you should be winning.
Yeah. You know what, Sean? The NBA is a lot different than it used to be. Okay, and it's a much higher scoring league than it was back in the days of Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace. But
not this bad.
It's become a 3-point shot league, and the whole name of the game now is to just keep firing up threes, which makes it a lot less watchable than it used to be.
Yeah, and nobody's guarding a three, so it's like, okay, but then again, who's the tallest guy on the Pistons? I mean, what are they, about 6'7", 6'7", 6'7"?
Yeah, I think they got a couple bigs, but...
Who?
Don't ask me who they are at this point. I don't really
Nobody cares. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Casey ain't the guy. He's a great coach with a better team. You could do well. But this is not it, But then again... do we cue Mr. Rogers again? What does the guy have to do to get fired around here?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like you had the Penguin, you have Casey, and all by rights, Casey is a wonderful gentleman, nice guy, kind of thing and stuff. But this isn't where you belong, man. You belong somewhere nicer with a better team. Even if you're an assistant somewhere, don't ruin your skills here because you got nothing, because you have an owner that goes, oh, what the hell's a Michigan? Oh, hell, that's right, I got a team out there. Yikes. I know that I keep signing the checks out for them, but it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, if you were watching this team whatsoever, and then people go, oh, you got to give them time. They're a young team, and fuck you. I mean, we've given you what? Now, it's almost as a rotational of how long we gave this team already, with the Lions obviously being at the very tip top. What have we given the Pistons? 15 years now?
Yeah, I've gone through for the last couple weeks how long it's been for each team to have given us a winning record.
Yeah.
Just a winning record. I mean, the bar isn't very high, right?
I know, just be over 500.
Yeah, and it's been several years. You know, the only team that's given us anything is the Lions. Okay, other than that, it's all losing records all the way down.
How far back do you got to go for the Red Wings? Do you know?
2014-15 was the last season above 500.
2014-2015. Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like they're doing.
And they aren't getting there this year either.
No. But you know what's really intriguing, though, young Ken, is that there's that little drum beat going on, boom, 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 about getting rid of your captain. Boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Start listening, my good man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, go Yzerman. Yzerman, if you traded out Larkin, you would seriously grab my respect. Like you seriously are waiting for it, you know?
Yeah. Well, he isn't going to get much for him if he trades him. So I think there's a very good chance he just hangs on to him and sees how the offseason plays out. Because Mr. Larkin obviously thinks that some fucker is going to pay him $8 million a year.
Goodbye.
He isn't worth $8 million a year.
He's a second-string center on a good team.
There's no team out there that's going to give him an 8-year contract for $8 million a year. Not happening.
No, not even this one.
No.
Yeah.
So, and I think Yzerman's just kind of like, you know what? If you want to go out test the market, go ahead. If you want to leave, go ahead. If you don't want to leave, my door's open.
Yeah, I mean, really, who's going to take a rental? You know, I mean, I don't know what team, because Larkin does bring some firepower. You know, he's got the most score. He's got the most goals on our team. Yeah, but what's that saying? You know,
yeah, I mean, you got a lousy team. And here's the thing: you know, he's not a point a game guy.
No,
he's a little bit under that. Okay, if you're gonna bring him in as a rental, what are you gonna give for him? I mean, you've already got to have room on your cap to fit him in, which means half the teams can't even do it. So let's say you walk up and you say, "Hey, we want to bring him in as a rental because we aren't going to give him the $8 million either." What are you going to give up for him?
But doesn't he have an NTC though? Doesn't he have a no trade clause?
Yeah. So he would have to approve any moves that are made anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the story. You know what I say, dude? Vegas. Yeehaw, son. No? Yippee-yay, Tyrod, go west, young man. I mean, Vegas could really use this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, Vegas, what can you give us? A second pairing defenseman and cash considerations? I would take it. Take it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'd take it right now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me bundle you up with Mr. Patuzzi to sweeten the deal. No? Okay.
Except that Bertuzzi is dealing now with a groin injury.
That's okay. I'll you know what? I'll take cash.
This was his third time of missing games during the season. He had an extended time off for a broken finger. Then he came back and got hit in the hand again with the puck. He's out for a while again. Comes back, plays 2 or 3 games, and now he's out again.
I'm not impressed with his game whatsoever. None. Bye.
I will tell you this. Usually in a contract year, that's when you get the false positive. Well, right now you're getting a big negative out of Mr. Bertuzzi.
Yeah. That's exactly what you get is the false. Yes. I mean, raise your hand whatsoever. If you think Bertuzzi's the answer for anything, I don't understand what it is. Well, he's got grit. Do you know how many folks in the AHL, IHL, Colonial League has grit? Many, you know, and bigger and more of a team player and not a moron in our estimation. You know, I mean, your team plays Canada, you go to Canada, son. How did that work out for you? You know, and that will always dog him, too, no matter what. No matter everyone goes, well, it was your choice and whatever. No, man, they needed him in a couple of those games in Canada. Thank you for botching that one up. Okay. I never thought he was the answer. I don't understand the thing. I mean, you could say goodbye to this whole front line. You know, I mean, because it's a mirage that this guy's a captain. A mirage.
Yeah.
You know, at one time he was fast, but he leveled out already. He's way leveled out. This is what you get. Well, he scores the most of anybody on the team. Yeah, okay. And you know, we can bench press more than anybody in the first grade. Okay. You know, that doesn't say much. So it's kind of like, all right, enough's enough. It'd be intriguing to see what you get. It would be intriguing to see if you could bundle these guys up and send them out to Vancouver. Vancouver has an interesting fellow that would look very nice on the first line here.
Yeah.
How much would he take, though? Would it take... You know,
that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, but take Larkin. I mean, seriously, take my Larkin, please. You know, there is nothing. You're spinning your wheels, and to be a captain, how does he lead? A captain leads, you know, big time. And this guy, there's nothing. I would say that the Wings had two of the worst captains, or the two worst captains, or the two last captains. You know. I mean, I've never seen captains this bad. I mean, there's no rallying point. There's no yippee-yay. There's no, you know, keeping people accountable. He's just a number in the wheel. So, goodbye, Larkin.
Yeah, I think, and, you know, when you look at this team now, and, you know, they're not very much further along than they were this point last year.
No.
Well, how many points he had at this point last year, but they're, you take a look at the standings. Let's go here to standings. That's usually where you find the standings.
Yeah.
And here they are. After 45 games, they have 46 points.
Whee!
Wow, that projects to...
That's a winning record, son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on.
Losses and wins.
Hang on, boys. Hang on. You know, 1 point more than the games you play. But, I mean, did you get a chance to see the Philadelphia game when they played Philly?
No. Yeah, I actually did. Yeah, it put me to sleep, though.
You know, this is what we should do, Kenny. We should have one show where we talk about what sport does not put you to sleep on TV and which sport can put you to sleep the fastest on TV. You know, I mean, that's for a future show. I mean, I'd even give you the sneak peek. The one that could put me to sleep the fastest was Tiger Baseball 85, George and Al by the third inning. See ya. You know, not like I was bored with it. It was just like, see ya. You know, I just fall out because the Pistons I'd turn off. Lions I don't watch. You know, so I don't know.
Well, you know, there is some hope for the Tigers for this coming year that they may not put you to sleep quite as much as last year.
God, I can't wait to see where you're going on this one.
Jack Morris won't be back on the broadcast team.
Yeah, but he kept me away because I was so cheesed with what he's doing. You know,
that's true. Yeah.
But here's the story. Here's why they won't, and you're right, Kenny. Here's the reason why they won't be putting me to sleep. Is because if they bump up Monroe, see ya. You know, I mean, and it all goes back to Illich. My God, is this man horrible? You know, when it comes to his what's the opposite of Midas touch? Illich touch?
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
You touch it and it turns to poop.
Yeah.
Now, here's some context.
Go.
The Red Wings last year, at the end of the season, went into the NHL draft. Mm-hmm. And do you remember what position they were in the draft?
7?
8.
8, okay.
Do you know what position they're in as of today?
8.
10.
Lose, boys. Now it's time. Not
much difference, is there?
Yeah, and look what you pulled out last year. That's okay, guys. Start dropping. Just drop. You know what?
Yeah.
We've got to the point where we're almost into February. Just drop. Just fall.
Yeah.
You know, don't be buyers at the trade line.
Well, it helped when he lost to Philadelphia.
That was helpful because they moved up, yeah.
Yeah. So they're right there with Philadelphia and Ottawa. It'd be very easy to slide behind. And Montreal, too, but Montreal's so inept, though.
Yeah, but I'll pull for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could wind up 7th or 8th in the draft again. That'd be okay.
Yeah, but then again, you're a part of the NHL. Put all the ping pong balls in the hopper and make sure it comes up L.A. or New York.
Yeah.
Including when New York wasn't even in the lotto. They just, that stupid way that they got in. Jesus, God almighty. If that doesn't tell you, it's time to put you
know what, John?
What?
But here's the thing.
Yep.
When they did that, do you remember which player they won at the top of the draft?
Who?
The generational player, Alexis Lafreniere.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, remember, he was the generational talent.
Yeah.
How's he doing in New York? They're about ready to run him out of town, is what?
Well, it's what you deserve, man. You know?
Yeah. And we got stuck taking Lucas Raymond.
Damn it. Yeah. Yeah, which kind of makes you either Yzerman, nice touch, man, or you're running one of the biggest luck streaks we've ever seen. Because I like Lucas Raymond, man. I would build a team around that kid.
Yeah. But, you know, it all comes back to this. Where you pick is not as important as who's doing the picking.
Yeah, that is true. You know, but I mean,
I'm looking at Yzerman. I'd say, it'd be nice to move up a couple spots. But even if you're picking 10th, I'm sure you'll get something good.
He seems to have that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, yep.
You know, as much
him and Holmes, the two of them. You know, then you look at the other two teams and you go like, okay, you guys are wandering around in the desert, and every once in a while you bump into a cactus. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you.
At least they would have stopped if they would have bumped into a cactus. Yeah. I mean, there's... it's easy for the Pistons to pick when you're always picking first, you know?
Yeah.
First, second, or third. It's like, okay, already.
You have to pull it all together and make something out of it. Now, it's kind of interesting because if you look at the NBA draft this year, there are like 2 players that are considered elite. If you don't win the first one, which is a guy in France, and God help me, we've got history with picking guys out of France.
No.
The second guy, elite guy, is another point guard.
No.
He drafted 3 in a row.
No, we need somebody who's 7'1". We need Mahorn. We need Mahorn to be cloned. You know?
Yeah.
That's a good starting point. Somebody big, somebody nasty, somebody who doesn't care. You know, have like Lambier, but somebody Lambier with like some real strength behind him. Somebody that it's intimidating presence. Somebody, if you even think about getting into the paint, get ready. You know, that's what you need. You got enough point guards. You got enough pick and roll people. You know, now it's time to go for all out size or all out ruggedness. Somebody who's mean. You know,
And that's one thing that I think the Wings are kind of
yes, missing big time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for who's going to. There's that guy standing out there in front of your goaltender. Who's going to put him on his ass?
Sherratt.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's him and nobody else.
I think, you're absolutely right, Ken. I think that the Detroit Red Wing fans underestimate Sherratt. I mean, I would long-term that guy right now. Hurry, here's ink pen. You've put, but I mean now. Even bigger. I mean, I would go to end of career contract, and then I'd move you upstairs because I mean he's theoretically a Shanahan. You know, I mean he'll hit, he'll punch. I mean Shanahan in his prime in Detroit was somebody that's Shanahan's really the reason why they won. You know why they went to the Cup, because he could do everything but quietly. But yet you knew he was there. Everybody loves Shanahan, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't get you don't take liberties with the Red Wing team at that time, because Shanahan, although you had like some bruisers, Shanahan was kind of like the mid-card boxer that could really inflict pain.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we need. So, yeah, you're right. If anything, if you saw the Philadelphia game and they just got pushed around, and enough of this, even Scotty Bowman had a couple of thugs, and he was all about, just be fast and play your game, let them take the penalties, and then we'll score on the power play. Well, that's assuming a couple of things, that your power play clicks at 50%, and that you don't get hurt when people are smashing your head against the glass. That's all it would take. Can you imagine if you had anybody near a Probert right now? Look, dude, just score 12 goals a year, but just make sure that if anybody takes liberty, guess who's on the board? But be a Gordie Howe. Have somebody who could just, smack you so hard you wouldn't even know you got hit till you fell to the ice.
But oh, my God, you talk about Scotty. I mean, hell, remember how he got into Crawford's head? Jesus.
Big time. Big time. And Crawford never got out of it.
Ready to climb over the glass. His eyes were bugging out. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, it was like, here's this guy that looks like the cover of GQ going up against Scotty Bowman. Looks like a guy who would be sitting on a bench watching a skyscraper be built, I mean, we're talking about that today, how Scotty, all he did was eat ice. Behind the bench, behind the players, but he was a genius at what he did.
Yes.
Amazing what he did, and everywhere he went, but he was just, he too was a strange duck. But then again, he
knew how to push buttons, didn't he?
Yeah, but the only one that really balanced it all out, probably in our lifetime, see if you agree, which means if you don't, please have a counterpoint. I think the only coach that ever put it all together, that could coach, went to championships, knew how to play everybody, knew how to be good with the fans, knew how to be good with the media, was Chuck Daly.
Oh, boy. I was going to go Sparky.
Yeah, okay. Yep, there you go. Even keel, both ones. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Yeah,
special time in this town when we had those guys here.
Same freeway, different cars, but man, you're right. Yeah, Sparky is absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even if you didn't know him, he had that way. But you know what? That, I think, I don't know if it's a boomer thing or not, Kenny, but do we really like, there's something about baseball manager has to have gray hair. Has to have that weathered face. Has to have that, what computer. But then again, you had that with, your the gentleman that was here before AJ.
Robert Garbage Fire.
Yeah, and you would thought that, I think he may be the very last one you'll ever get. Of that era. Of we play by the gut. I've seen this before. What's this shift bullshit? What are all these wars and wins and all that stuff? What does that mean? We play a game.
Yeah.
But then you get LaRussa. So
one thing we know is tax.
I knew we were going somewhere here.
We have a double CAC week.
Double CAC weekend.
Well, we have two CACs this week.
I know you've been revving up.
One is, and they're both repeat performers. The first one I want to bring up is our old friend Matt Patricia.
Oh, can you see that he's going bye-bye?
Going bye-bye, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the Lions aren't going to pay for you anymore, what do we got you here for?
Exactly. Like, ooh, boy.
Has anybody?
Well, I'm sure he's lining up his next job as we speak.
Well, do you think, Kenny, at one time what they were trying to do was say, hey, look, you're kind of like a mulligan. You're free to us. You're a good football mind. Why don't you come here? We'll slot you here as some kind of de facto OC, and then what we'll do is you can pad your resume, and when the money runs out, well, then you repaired your resume, and off you go. But neither happened.
No. He sure as hell didn't pad his resume, did he?
No, not at all, and especially with that offense. I mean, why are you going offense when you're known as a defensive guru? You know?
Yeah.
So how was that supposed to help you? Because in the NFL, these two disciplines are 100% different. Duh.
I think the rationale there is Belichick took one look at what he did with Detroit's defense and the wreckage that he left behind and said, let's keep you away from our defense.
Yeah, because that's so good right now anyways. You know?
Yeah. So
I mean,
he goes over to the offense. Next thing you know, he's ruined 2 quarterbacks.
How do you learn on the job in the NFL? You know?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I give
but you know what?
What?
The thing that's worse than learning on the job is not learning on the job.
I give you Indianapolis Saturday.
Exactly.
The guy should change his name. I mean, really, if your last name is Saturday, cut it out. You know? I mean, what did he go, 1-9 for the rest of the year?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
How did Indy fans just not burn down Lucas Oil Field?
But again, we're looking at stupid owners, and we got Jerry Jones down in Dallas. Hey, McCarthy, he's still a good coach, and okay, whatever.
He's next. Bye and later. Thanks for coming. Green Bay could use somebody.
Do you know how many bad owners there are in the NFL? It's ridiculous. Lord Almighty. And the trick is if you get somebody good running your team, you send them out to take advantage of these teams that are owned by these morons because they can't keep their hands off. They got to meddle. So you get teams like in Washington where you get Dan Snyder. It's like, okay, you know what? They need a quarterback. Let's go dangle something in front of them. Let's dangle a draft pick. Maybe they can overpay for it because the owner tells you you're going to get a quarterback.
Yeah, but you also have in Dan Snyder, it's like, look, everybody hates you, but he's got, what was that thing that he was getting, like secret agent, or not secret agents, but private investigators to track up dirt on just about all the other owners, so in case they try to pull some shenanigans, he could go, oh yeah, that's great. How about that time that you were banging Kraft's wife there? What? Or
alternatively, they found classified documents in your home. Oh, don't worry about it. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but you go all the way back to Bush. It's like, what? Who?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, as much as that goes through, you kind of go, all right. You know who we should tip our hat? Here's a nugget of positiveness out of our show today. Tip of the hat to Jacksonville.
Yes.
You didn't make it, but you're building something there, man. It took a year or something, but it took you to get rid of, and this goes back to one of your points, get rid of a stupid-ass coach, a coach that doesn't fit, admit defeat, which they did quickly, and then they got this fine fellow, and all right, you're at where you guys should be at. There's talent on that team, but it was so Detroit-esque, that you just had the wrong guy pushing the buttons and whatever. Next year, Jacksonville's going to be very interesting to watch, I think.
You bet. Well, John, I did mention 2 cacks. You ready for the second one?
Yeah, go ahead, Kenny. Who's our second cack of the week?
Second cack of the week. Well, you remember a little bit ago we were talking about Mr. Bertuzzi and how he refused to take the vaccine. Well, back in 2020, Cleveland, as they were known then as the Indians, had 2 pitchers in the rotation that failed the COVID protocol. They weren't going along with the program, and they wound up on the inactive list. And one of them was a pitcher named Mike Clevenger. He was a really good young pitcher, and they ended up trading his ass over to San Diego.
Right, yeah.
Well, this offseason, he was a free agent. He signed with the White Sox.
Really?
And he comments about he's glad he's back in the American League Central, and he's going to make the Cleveland team pay for what they did to him.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
Well, word comes out today. Now he's under investigation for child abuse and domestic abuse. He basically has done allegedly has done physical, verbal, emotional abuse to his girlfriend and their 10-month-old daughter.
Yeah,
it's like, wow. Let's dust the cack off here. We need to present him with the award.
Yeah, no. I mean, look at his slider. He's got an awesome slider and two-seamer. You know. Yes. I mean, these are all allegations until you have video, and if you don't have video, well, then that's just a scorned woman. But my God, the guy can eat innings. He keeps it right at the knees. That's all we care about.
And even if you have video, it's all the deep state has faked it up. It's all.
Yeah, it's photoshopped.
It's a hoax.
Yeah, it's a witch hunt. Yeah.
So, but I see Trevor Bauer's going around trying to find a job, and the rumor was that the Reds were going to pick him up. They said, not interested.
Really?
And for the Reds don't want to look at you, well, I don't know.
We should stop right here and go back and say, look, folks, when it comes to the gentleman abusing a 10-month-old baby and a woman, we're putting the bunny ear quotes on that. We're kidding with you. We're pulling your knee only because there is so many, and the NFL is the best for this. You could rape women, you could, kill kids, you could drown puppies, but if you could run, a 3-second 60, well, we believe in second chances. No.
Yeah.
In our opinion, there. But we're playing it cartoony, but we've seen so many people in the NFL get away with so much crazy shit, or people in sports in general get away with crazy stuff that you and I would be like rotting in Jackson for a very long time, but, he can hit like, no tomorrow, or boy, he could, you kind of don't see that much in hockey, or that kind of character flaw kind of pops up. I'm sure it's here, there, and everywhere, but either Bettman has a good way in suppressing it, or something, But
John, I think it comes down to this. There are two fields in which you can pretty much get away with just about anything if you're good at what you do. And one of them is sports, and the other one is politics.
No question.
Because why? Because there's always somebody out there with a vested interest in looking the other way.
Yeah, or because it's easy, depending on your point of view, it's easy to give whoever screwed up a second chance. And I don't mean just a normal Joe screwing up here, there, and everywhere. That's life. That's how you learn. But when you go do something that's so audacious, that anybody, it's just a flat-out crime. It is a crime. You're nailed for doing a crime. To be able to weasel your way back, because you can, you're the best wideout there's out there, or, this team really needs, like, this guy that can throw so many innings and stuff like that. Well, you can almost go down to Cabrera in a lighter sense. When all that craziness was going on in his personal life and stuff, that was just nuts.
Allegedly, right?
Which part was allegedly?
Well, everything.
Well,
allegedly.
He wrote a nice check to allegedly, for $10 million a year or something for both allegedly little, the allegedly thing one, thing two. Okay. You just know. God bless that man, because it's kind of like, that thing when you wait till your father comes home kind of thing when you were a kid, and you had to do that walk to the, to the front room going, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get killed. You could just about imagine in my world, that Cabrera's going to be going, look, can I go play in the front office after this season? Because if I'm done with this season, guess what I get to go home to? And she remembers this really, really well. And this is where, Mr. Gambino, the defense lawyer, the divorce lawyer, is going to come out and say, yeah, okay, we waited till you made the very last penny out of that stupid contract, and now we get half.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like, look, can we just keep working here? Can I just work in the front office as a special assistant? That poor guy, he knows it's coming. You might as well just like tuck the money in your sock for a while there, Sonny, or go back to your other wife or what. I mean, tip of the hat to some guy that can do two families at once. Whoo! It's hard to keep up with just one woman alone to do, 2 plus 4 kids plus, God damn. I mean, that's what money gets you.
That's right. You always pay the piper at the end, though. She's going to say, I'd like to introduce you to my attorney, Ben Dover.
You know what? If Cabrera's wife was smart, she'd go, why don't we move to California sometime this summer? Why don't we take up residency in California? Because if you want to see Ben Dover, attorney at law, do his magic in a divorce, a multi-million-dollar breadwinner, and what they're going to do is, I mean, they've already got this thing all set up. I mean, look at how this man, threw this woman in the mud, and her name was disgraced everywhere, and, oh my, and she was so good, and took him back after this scoundrel was exposed and stuff. But, just can't make it work by the way we want everything. Okay, but he's in the best shape of his life, so there you go. So I bet you somewhere, somehow down the line that Minnesota signs him, or Atlanta. So, no, we shouldn't even go that high. The Reds would sign him, and that's where he would have to be, and he would have to play. Well, no, he doesn't have to play every single day because they got the DH there now.
That's right.
Hey, good luck to him, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen to a better person for everybody that, snags out in June every year when we really needed them. But see, there we go again. We don't take a look at the human being. We take a look at what we need for our team to win so we can feel better. It's a strange thing, sport, isn't it? Is it, Kenny? I mean, it really is.
We think about, I'll feel better about me as a person if my team wins.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll have a better day today if I know that the Red Wings are going for, the playoffs coming up. Isn't that weird? I mean, it'd be great if I knew that, that I'm getting a new car today, yay, or, I'm getting some this weekend, or, I'm going to my favorite restaurant tonight, or something. I mean, something that...
And the thing about sports is it isn't even real. I mean, it is in a sense, but there's so much of it that's just hype and baloney and garbage. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it today. On my phone I get a lot of spam calls.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have to take them because I use my phone for business. And at the height of this, while the open enrollment was there for Medicare Advantage, my highest total was 34 spam calls in one day. And I started thinking about it, and I said, we got the equivalent of spam in the sports world today. It's called, are you ready?
Ta-da.
Mock drafts.
Oh, no, that's not coming back already, is it?
Yeah,
it's too early for that.
Drafts.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
The sports equivalent of spam calls.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And, people are reading these things, and they're talking about them, and they're getting all upset. Hey, he said that the Lions are going to draft a tight end in the first round. Yeah, got you talking, didn't it?
Says who? Yeah, right.
Got you to pick up.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
I mean, that's... you guys fall for it every single year. You know, I thought it was where you were going to go with it was that, you know, here's the seating for the big dance, and here's who's going to go to the Elite Eight. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what? You know, it's January. You have all this time to play. You haven't even got close to a tournament run yet. You know, it's amazing to me to see that Michigan State's in the top 25. You know, there's only 3 teams in the Big Ten that are in the top 25. Michigan's nowhere near it. You know, Purdue somehow is number, like, top 2, top 3 now. And then somebody else, and then Michigan State was like 21 or something. It's like, how the hell did Michigan State get in there?
The Big Ten's hot garbage this year anyway.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but you know what, Ken? They'll still get 6 slots in the big dance.
Of course. Of course. It's not about the money.
No. It's not about the teams that travel well or go good on TV. You know, when you have like some kind of, you know, McNeese State out there, it's tearing it up, and they're having one of those years that you make, you know, a movie out of, and they don't make it, but, you know, a 15 and 14 Minnesota team goes in. Okay. You know, where all these bubble teams go in, but there's really, and I think you hit it right on the head, Kenny, there's really nobody in the Big Ten so far, you know, that's lighting it up, that you go, oh, here we go. You know, we hope to God that we see them and Gonzaga play for the final.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, what they do is that they trot out, well, you know, we'd like to have small colleges come in, but look at how Cincinnati crapped the bed, you know. Yeah, okay. Cincinnati football. Bring Cincinnati basketball, and you want to see the bad boys every year. Woo! That'd be them.
They don't even know which Cincinnati either, because it could be the one in Ohio, or it could be the one in Florida, or it could be the one in Georgia. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be all over the place. It could be one that was right by Swifton, Arkansas. You know?
Yeah. Phil Swifton, yep.
You know what? I seriously do wish, and we were talking at the top of the show today about voices that put you to sleep in sports. And, you know, there was just, he didn't, knowing what I know now, but then again, you know, you're talking a Saturday afternoon where you just get done cutting the lawn. You know, you've done everything all week long. It's a sunny day. You got your feet up. You have yourself, a ginger ale. And, you know, this is you at the most relaxed. And there was just something singy-song about his voice and the pace of baseball that just said, that I'm fully relaxed here. Boom. I mean, it's not like watching TV and falling asleep every single time you watch TV. I mean, it was a baseball game.
And you know what? Nothing better than sitting out on the porch on a warm summer evening. You have the radio on, got the ball game going. It just meant summer. Yeah, that's true. That is something that everybody's missing right now. I mean, we can't go back to AM radios and, you know, the chaise lounges with like the green and white webbing, striped webbing that would, you know, make you sweat after a while. But we were talking about how people had like enclosed porches, you know, with screened-in porches and stuff like that. That was the way to go, man. And you're right. You had the radio next to you, and whatever ginger ale you had next to you, perhaps maybe a fire-brewed ginger ale, you know, something with Alex the dog would bring it to you. But that's, I mean, as much as we were talking about, did Stroh's really make Signature? Yes, they did. You know, and that was supposed to be their Michelob killer. But God, that beer was so sweet, like too much sugar. Anyways, but that was in modern suburban terms, that's living. You know, when you could just like go back and just, you got everything accomplished for today. You're just going to listen to the ball game. You know, you didn't give a damn who played, who didn't, where the Tigers are. Hopefully, if the Tigers were interesting and they're in the top 4, you know, okay, or they're fighting for something. But you know what? The whole big thing was your team represented your city, you know, and you're a part of it, and rah, rah, rah. You don't even have half of that anymore. You know, it says Detroit on it, but nobody, who's fighting for Detroit?
Nobody.
Does your team represent your city? I think we've kind of gotten away from that whole notion.
Way past that whole notion. Way past that whole notion. You know, because there's so many things that are you know, like with Cincinnati in Ohio. You know, you got the folks that own Yes, you know, and then you have whatever scraps that the Reds have. You'll never see a big red machine again. Money talks, man.
Yeah.
You know, and and everybody in every year in every single sport, and we talk about this almost in the beginning of all seasons, everybody is looking for that diamond in the rough. They're looking for that Mark Friedrich, you know, in the 324th pick. You know, that's just going to light everybody on fire, and they're only going to cost you the league minimum. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. There's no joy in sports anymore. There's no,
because what we've done is we have weaponized player salaries.
I knew you were going
turned it into every fan looks at player salaries as a negative. It's something that has to be managed and controlled because it punishes your team's ability to compete if you don't do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think life is a lot more interesting when sport teams, if you're, you know, into sports, it is more interesting because it is kind of something that takes your eye off of writing up the bills or seeing the flat tire or whatever. You know, so that is something, hey, you know, if we got nothing else to do, let's see a game, hopefully that they win something. If they don't win, it's a shame. You know, no fun. But you know, nowadays, if they don't win, it's a better draft pick. Yeah, and we don't care anymore. I mean, we seriously, because there's a burden of winning. It's like nobody really wants to be president of the United States anymore. All the action is in the Senate, you know, because you can get away with a ton more crap than any kind of, and 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, and ever since, you know, America began, you wanted to be president. Oh, boy, you can grow up to be president of the United States. That's not where the action is. That's not where the money is. You know, and so, and it's you're right about the weaponizing. You know, I mean, here's a guy that gets, for some god reason, $250 million to play shortstop for Minnesota or New York or the Giants, you know. And for some god reason, we expect superhuman stuff out of the guy. And like it's our money. There's two different schools of thought. Either we get mad because you're hitting 173 and god damn it, you're getting $250 billion, you know. Or you say, you know, like that's our money. And you're right. And it goes back to your point before, is that impacts us to buy because now we had to give you, you know, $250 million. We can't afford anybody who can pitch worth a damn. And we won't be able to do that for years. Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, let's face it, when you look at your team and you go, okay, the owner says that we can't afford to spend any more money on players because this guy over here, he's got this big contract. Who gave him the contract, by the way?
Yeah.
But, you know, because he's making all this money, we can't possibly afford to bring in another player who could do better than him. Well, you know, again, they've weaponized the player contracts.
Yeah.
And it's now that we turn it back on the player who's making the money. It's his responsibility. It's his fault that we don't have a competitive team.
Yeah, because of you. Now, this goes one of two ways. You bring in a $250 million shortstop, and he's lighting it up. But the rest of your team sucks. So he's having an all-star year, and the rest of your team, I give you Minnesota at the end. You know, you're not going to go anywhere anyways. And now you do the simple mathematics in your head. You know, how much would, you know, if we would have not had a guy for $250 million, how much could we have spread that around and got a balanced team? I give you Cabrera the last 7 years of this contract. You know, who in Detroit? Go ahead.
I'll go back earlier than that. I'll go back to Prince Fielder.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day they signed him, I went, you need a second baseman.
Badly.
Idiot.
Yeah.
You signed a guy, you know, you panic because your DH busted his knee. So you panic, you overreach, you sign this guy for his huge contract. You need a second baseman. Who are you going to trot out? Ryan Rayburn again.
Oh,
great.
Or Stoudemire, yeah. And how well did that work? And then look at how many years we did second baseman by committee, and it never ever worked out. And we could have taken that $200 million. How quaint! Now we look at that, $200 million, and now that's like, okay, that's a middle reliever money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still high as hell, but I mean, there's something about the egos of certain owners. It's like, I'm paying my guy the most. I mean, I give you the guy from the Mets. Look at how bloated, and we don't care how much we're over the luxury tax. Dear baseball, your luxury tax thing is something of the past. Nobody fears it anymore. Yeah.
And then they use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
We can't go over the luxury cap, so we're not going to spend any more money.
Except for all the other teams that have. You know? There's not a New York team that cares what the luxury tax is. Oh, shit. Yeah. Here, I'll just, it's kind of like these guys that get away with all kinds of, white-collar crime and crap, but the highest thing that they can fine you is like $5,000.
Yeah.
All day, every day, man. It's like, okay, sure, I'll even admit I'm guilty. There you go. I'll write you the check.
Yeah. Yeah, those were classified documents you found in my home. So what?
Yeah, now what? Yeah, it's not against the law. I just declassified them on my way here. Okay.
Now it's become a parlor game. Who next? You heard about Mike Pence, right?
Yeah, doesn't he have some now?
Yeah, he's got them now, too. So it's like, okay, your turn. Who you got?
So you kind of think that Obama and Bush, too, are going through their house going, where are they at? Where are they at? Where did we stick them? God damn it, we got to get rid of these now. I mean, somehow, some way in the Bush household, they bought like this industrial-sized shredder. Yeah, phenomenal. It's like, okay, here's the one time that I'll give people a go. They all do it. There's your tip of the hat. But
you're right there.
Yeah, somebody is more. We'll wait for the dust to settle on this one. Yeah. Because I don't know how
all I can say though is just because the other side does it too doesn't make it right, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's funny. I mean, what do you do? Go. When unfortunately, I shan't say unfortunately, but because you work out of your office, it's kind of like, okay. But when we leave, when we go back, we do whatever, I know that I have to grab my jacket, grab the computer case, and get going. I don't leave the White House and go, okay, I got to grab my hat, grab my jacket, grab these top secret prints, go home. I mean, it's like, what am I going to do? It's like take these missile plans that are so top secret and confidential and everything and go, oh, you know what we'll do after dinner? I'll show Susan these. Well, she'll really like these drawings. And then go, oh, fuck.
What it is that I do at work every day. Well,
yeah, here
you go, Hucky. This is what I work out every day.
Look at these missile plans. Geez, if China ever got these.
Look at these launch codes. Aren't they neat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's your birthday backwards. There you go. So in case you ever get kidnapped and they torture you, you know what the numbers are, so don't you worry about a thing. I mean, it's like, look, here's this secret Abrams M1 X1 tank. What do you think, honey, about the interior colors? Green, black? What do you think? I mean, guys, why are you that's the reason why they say top secret. And then what is it? Is it like you're stealing, you roll it up and you dump these things in your pants and you walk past the Marine Guard? Nothing to declare today. Oh, see ya, Bob. And then you get
Sandy Berger.
Sandy Berger, yeah.
He did stick him in his pants.
Yeah, he did. I remember that because he was put in that room.
The chick at the guardhouse says, "What's that bulge in your pants?" He says, "You don't want to know."
Yeah, gotta remember that stuff too. Yeah, and it was like you roll it up and you put how big top secret especially back in the day when they didn't put it on any kind of digital stuff. I mean, there were literally blueprints, that you'd have to stick it down your pant leg and, walk normal, just a few more feet to your car, walk normal, and then thump, it comes out past your sock. Oops! How did this get in my pant leg? What a card, I mean, that was, now you can say, somebody hacked my phone. Now it's like, somebody hacked my pants. These aren't my pants. Oh, my. I must have switched it from somebody in the office. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's how it goes. So, so there's our politic corner there for a moment. However, that's kind of the deal. Dude, what did we not talk about in one whole minute?
We didn't talk about baseball's Hall of Fame. Scott Rowland got in. So we got two guys going in this year, Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff.
The crime dog?
Yeah. And, McGriff was actually a really good player. And
yeah, he was.
I think he kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
I think I hit a hell of a lot of home runs.
Yeah, I give you a Lou Whitaker situation. Was not on the most flashiest of all teams, but yet Lou was, so we take that all back. But Rollins, why?
But, these guys, if they don't play in New York, it seems like a lot of times they're ignored. And, you look at some of the guys like McGriff, you look at a Jim Tomei.
Jim Tomei.
Oh, my God, look at the numbers. Who knew? Well, who knew? Nobody knew because they're all focused on Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah, Yankees, Red Sox, and who was hot? L.A. at the time, and they'll throw you occasional bone. They'll give you somebody from Cleveland, one person every 50 years. Yeah. I mean, for Morris to have to fight, as much as he's an awful, in our opinion, broadcaster, he was the pitcher of the 80s. Period.
Yeah.
There is no dispute. And for him to go almost into the old-timers to get in, first of all, you should change that name, the Old-Timers Committee, because who the hell feels great about going in as the old-timer? Yikes. Yeah. Oh, well.
It could have been worse. It could have been the Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and then they put you in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Who? Where was I? Okay, great. But you're right. There's a lot of people from the White Sox that should have been in there. I mean, there's a lot of, how many Boog Powells need to be there? Back when baseball, when you were absolutely, based on who you are, Brooks Robinson, these people absolutely positively first ballot. No question. Yeah. But would they be first ballot this, in this day and age? Doubt it. And how weird that is that baseball only you could go a whole year and not have anybody go in, just the way that the voting is so fucking weird in baseball.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's disgusting because it's just so skewed.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you had a lot of great press because you played in New York and you were Derek Jeter, not to knock Jeter. Jeter was a great player. But I'm just taking him for example. Because as great as he was, there were other players out there that were great as well, but they did not get the media glare of playing for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So they go, yeah, okay, that's nice, so what?
Like a Frank Thomas kind of thing,
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, look at his career stats and stuff. And then there's stats doesn't make it, but then again, look at when somebody else got in before Trammell, only because he could do a cartwheel. Go away.
Yeah.
And then look how long it took Trammell to get in. I don't understand how, hire a slick PR firm to get, I forgot we were supposed to talk about too, to get Lou Whitaker in. But the one thing I do want to say, because we were talking about sports and stuff like that, and I'm glad that we do a little bit of XL. Just pardon me for just a moment here, but we're doing every Saturday. I'll have you know, young man, that the Detroit sports authorities are traveling Michigan, looking at Class D basketball for the junior high school set, if sixth grade's junior high school. And so that's taken us to the far corners of like BFE land up there and all that stuff. It's cute little schools. So we're in Kingston, Michigan. If you don't know where it's at, it's about there, as Sonny Elliott would say. And it's as Class D as you're going to get. I think the graduating class is like under 50. Okay. So they got this cute little school up there, that, it's a nice school, a nice school gym and stuff, just like you say, but, clean, cute as a button. So they have, watch this, they have on their center stripe in the gym, I guess they're like the Fighting Cardinals or something. So they got a cardinal, and they got like a little bit of turbulence on the bottom. Think about like what Kentucky has or Louisville has, with the big chicken in the middle, the big cardinal. And so somehow, some way, Iowa State, a Big 12 school, comes in to dinky. If you didn't know, even if you lived in Clifford, Michigan, you wouldn't know where Kingston was. That's how much you drive past. Kingston is like one of those cities that was on hee-haw. Salute. You know what I mean? But still, cute city, nice people, et cetera, et cetera. The University of, or I shouldn't say, Iowa State University comes in and sues Kingston School District because of logo infringement. Now, seriously, Kenny, how many college sport teams have a cardinal as a logo, as a mascot?
Wow. There's Stanford University. There's the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
There's the St. Louis Cardinals.
True.
I just named three off the top of my head.
Right. Okay. So, does the logo look close? Yeah, the logo looks close. So instead of, and I don't know what they're worried about. I would venture to say that the city of Kingston doesn't have 5,000 people in it. And that's if you had 400 cows in there. It's a teeny tiny little city. Again, nice people, nice little downtown. As much as you think Mayberry, think Kingston, Michigan. And for the unit, and now here's the kicker. They sued and won against Kingston, against this little high school, to remove the logo from their gym. Now, their floor was just done. It's all these guys can do to put a floor down in a gym, and it's a little center of pride because that's where all the kids play, and there you go. And so they have to rip up the whole entire floor, somehow, some way, make money to put this floor back in, where they don't have like a huge tax base here. And so the big kicker is with all this is that Iowa State University hasn't used that logo for about a decade now. That was really? A logo down the line. We have a brand new logo, and I think the new logo started in 2009, I think. So they still sue these people, these fine friends in Kingston, for copyright infringement. It's like, what do you seriously think that people, when they go to this little hamlet of Kingston, looks at that logo on the center stripe and goes, that's University of Iowa, or Iowa State University. How did we get here? Did you confuse a little 5-foot fifth grader, sixth grader who weighs maybe 75 pounds soaking wet, and a bunch of little kids going up and down the court in these little smocks, doing their damnedest every Saturday? Did you confuse them with a Big 12 school? That went, matter of fact, they went to the big dance last year, too. Honest to God, if there's any injustice, and we were talking about, salaries in sports and relevancies and all this stuff, it's like, look, you Big 12 fucking bullies, You put these people on their heels for no apparent reason. What did you win, Iowa State University? What did you get out of the deal? Whew, thank God, that people didn't confuse us with this little farming community. Whew, we're safe. That they didn't think when they saw that you thought that, these Big 12 players are going to come out on that court.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's how much collegiate sports and big sports bullied these people. And how much money do you think, Kenny, that a Big 12 school has for attorneys? And how much do you think that Kingston School District, or whatever it's called, has for their attorney?
Yeah.
Not saying that they're not good attorneys there, but, they could sick them.
Yeah, Kingston, they're probably looking for some guy who practices law on the side after he leaves his job at the gas station.
No, not necessarily. I'm sure they have that, but, it's like one of those things where they can, where Big 12 could just tie you up and tie you up and tie you up, and then the school district's got to look at it and go, how much of a fight is this worth? And it's like, well, we'd like to work with you guys, said Iowa State, but work with us says what? We still have to rip up our floor. Get the hell out of here. So if we're going to add cacks in our situation, let's add Iowa State University, who's not even using that logo. Stupid as hell.
Well, you know what? We could add them as a cack, but just make sure that we don't paint that cack red, or they're going to come after us.
Yeah, and it's too damn bad because really, this is a school district so small that they have girls playing on the football team. And I don't mean kickers. I mean as middle linebackers. And we almost had one young lady on that we talked to last Saturday because we thought this was going to be a hell of a story. Really, we were trying to explain to the folks, what a linebacker does in football. It's think Dick Butkus. Think Alex Karras. And so you have this little teeny wisp of a blonde-haired girl, that is playing a ferocious position, obviously good at it. But it's everybody has to play because they don't have a ton of folks, to play in this Class D thing. And you got these idiot bullies, coming in and winning. And the shock is that they're winning. And I don't think they won as much as Kingston said, man, we can't fight these guys. They got unlimited ATM, and we have, hope the crops go good this year.
We do have a quick score update.
Oh, please.
For the Red Wing game.
Yes, sir. 12-1.
Red Wings 1, San Jose 0. And
really?
Guess who scored the goal for the Red Wings?
Let's see. It's not Patuzzi. Sherratt?
You thought you were going to say Dylan Larkin. Wrong. Adam Ernie.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to go for, but I wasn't because I knew it was going to be a trick question. So thanks, Debbie, for being there at the game, giving us up-to-date minute reports. I got a funny feeling that you got this just in, and she tied it to the dog and sent the dog into. By the way, how's the dog doing?
Yeah, dog's doing wonderful.
Good. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. But talking about wonderful, we got a wonderful our buns out of here. All right, so you can come see us anywhere if you missed today for some good reason. You can still hear our voice. You can pick us up at iHeart or Spotify or all 16 other places that you can pick up your favorite podcasts. You can pick us up too. So, see, what a positive show this was today. Positive.
Very much, very much. And, we had 3 cacks. We didn't have one. We didn't have 2. We gave you a trio. How much more positive can you get than that?
We gave you a 3-pack for free. We gave you a bonus cack. A bonus cack at the end. See, get 2, you get the third one free. All right, Kenny, we'll see you next week, man.
Very good.
Oh, wait, we should do the ending. All right, so we'll see you again next week on the Detroit Sports Authorities. Bye.